Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Senior Report is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Usually we start out the show and say, what a wonderful morning is here in Chautauqua County. Well, today really isn't a very great day for us here at Access 5. I'm sad to report that, like Stephen Colbert, that will be replacing David Letterman in the near future and the big shoes he has to fill, I've been asked to fill the shoes of Reed Powers as of today. I wanted you all to know that Reed is very ill, and he has informed me that due to his illness, that he will no longer be able to come here to broadcast as he has for the last 17 plus years. Reed's done about 800 some shows and brought you all kinds of guests throughout the years, and he'll still be calling in and giving us a hard time, I'm sure. But I wanted you all to know that Reed is quite ill, and we're going to pop up his address here. There we go. Yeah, you look good, Reed. I'm sure that he would enjoy hearing from all of you out there. It's his address that you can send a get well card, say hello, how you doing? And I know he's developed a large fan base over the years, and perhaps you'd like to send some well wishes to Reed. So with that, I wanted to let you know that that's what's going on right now, that we'll be continuing the show as we go along here, and the guys and I are going to be putting our heads together about what we want to do for our guests in the near future, and we assure you that we're going to continue the history and the purpose of the show for a long time to come. So at this point, folks, I'd like to just cut away for a public service announcement, and then we're going to do some announcements, and we'll talk about our guests. This is for you.
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at gocoastguard.com.
Okay. As part of our announcements today, there's a really interesting event coming up. Dr. Marianne Spanos, the director of the Office of the Aging, was here not long ago, and she announced that they're going to have a special event for seniors. That's anyone over 60 years old. She starts the email out with the question, I don't know the answer to this necessarily, but it says, which gender mosquito bites people? Male or female? Any idea, Randy?
It's got to be female.
Oh, sure. Everybody's guessing. They get the right answer. It's the female. Well, that's going to be part of, I don't know if that question is going to be asked, but there's going to be a senior trivia contest Thursday, May 8th at the North Harmony Senior Citizen Center in Stowe. It costs $5. You put your team together, and you can have a team of 2 or 3 folks. Now listen to this. This is pretty cool. The first place team wins $100. Not a bad investment for $5. Second place, $75. Third place, $50. You have to register by May 5th by calling Connie Whitman at 763-0544. One more time, you got to register May 5th by calling Connie Whitman at 763-0544, and that's for this great trivia contest for seniors. And I know that was an easy question, and I've heard the questions get really, really tough after that. Okay, also coming up, another good activity, May 10th, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club is going to be holding its annual auction at Easton Hall, and that will be starting at 5:30, I believe. And for $10, you have an opportunity to get a dinner, soft drink, and all the beer you can drink if you choose to. It's a barbecue dinner, and hang on a second, let me get all the details here. Chevette's chicken, which is always an awesome meal with dessert and so forth. There is the opportunity, if you buy the $10 ticket, they will, if you're there, you have to be there now, you win $500 for the winning ticket they draw. And of course, there's hundreds of different great prizes that you can win in the auction. Dave Brown, once again, will be our auctioneer, and he's entertainment in of itself. So for $10, you can have a fun night, get some dinner, enjoy the auction, buy some things, and support a great local community service organization. Some things that are going to be going on for the sale, there's going to be Chautauqua Golf Course is offering 18 holes of golf plus lessons, I believe. Hang on a second. No, with a cart. Forget the lessons, with a cart. The Bella Salon and Day Spa in Northeast is going to offer with some of the Rotarians a stress-free salon day, manicure, pedicure, massage, and so forth. Randy, what do you think?
Feels good.
Feels good. We can skip on the haircut for you, but otherwise you get the hour massage. What a good deal. Then you got a 26-inch Raleigh Ventures 7-speed bike. Jeff, that's right up your alley. They're going to be offering that, a Westgate resort package down in Florida, and on and on and on and on. So if you're interested, you can talk to Harry Barton in Westfield, Tom Burkhouse, any Rotarian from the Westfield Mayville area has tickets, $10. What a deal. Okay, also coming up in the area, I noticed that the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging is looking for candidates to become, I can never say this word fast, so I'm going to say it slow, ombudsman for seniors. They're advocates that work within the nursing and the adult homes to answer questions. If you have a question about perhaps your living arrangements or legal questions, these folks are trained to answer those questions and be supportive of folks that are getting up in their years. If you're interested, call the program at 753-4781. Ombudsman, very important role in our community. Also, the Chautauqua County RSVP, let's see, Retired Seniors Volunteer Program, is looking for volunteers to serve as mentors to help with children throughout the county, and that's a lot of fun. And you can call Brenda Weiler at Chautauqua County RSVP at 665-3038. And one more, the WCA is seeking compassionate individuals who are willing to share their time and talents toward the betterment of patients and so forth. And so if you're interested in volunteering there, you can talk to Elizabeth DeRosa at WCA Hospital in the main lobby and see if you're interested in doing that. A lot of seniors are retired now, and you say, well, geez, I got a lot of good skills left in me, and I got time on my hands. I'd like to do something special, and sometimes you don't know who to contact. So there's some opportunities. I'm ombudsman, working with WCA Hospital or working with kids throughout the county. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Not too much other than that I want to announce. The thing I do want to remind you is throughout this program, you can call in, as Chuck Kelsey announced in the opening credits, 753-5225. It's like the telethon. See how you can do that again. You can call in if you have an announcement for somebody's anniversary, a birthday, if you want to comment on the political situation in your community or the county or the government or whatever. If you just want to ask our guest a question, call in. Someone will answer the phone very pleasantly on the other end, and we will put you on the air. Now, one thing I do want to caution you, because many times I've done this, I answer the phone very often, is you might hear me talking, don't say anything until I say, good morning, caller, or you might have just nothing. That means you are in line after the caller that's on the air at that point. So don't hang up, we'll get to you. If for some reason our technology fails us and we lose you, call right back. It's okay. I've lost a couple people by pushing the wrong button. But call back and we'll get you on the air, because you're important. We want to hear from you, and your opinion counts here. Folks, this is the first time I believe we've had these folks on. They're from Star Media Group, and I want to introduce to you our guest this morning. And let me see if I get this right. Next to me is Jason Ferguson. He's the sales manager. So far, so good. I'm halfway there. I didn't get that messed up. And Scott Wise, who's the editor for the group. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning, John.
I told them when they came in, usually I'm the tallest here at the studio. If we were all to stand up right now, I would look like a shrimp. What are you guys, like 6'4", 6'5", something like that?
6'6".
6'6".
Yes, sir.
Yikes, I'm like 6'2". So we look pretty good sitting here in the chairs, but they're slouching, I think, or they're like down like this, so they look about the same size. But anyways, well, welcome to the show. And we did a little discussion beforehand, but let's learn a little bit about yourselves and what makes you tick and what do you like to do. So why don't we just start with Jason, because they didn't flip a coin, but they kind of waited to see who was going to sit down first. So you're my first victim. So where do you come from? What do you do? And all that good stuff.
Well, I live in Fredonia. I'm married for about 7 years now.
Oh, wow, great.
I have 2 daughters that
you don't look old enough to be that to have kids.
Yep. So I guess maybe that'll serve me well moving forward. But, it's a lot of fun. So family man, we attend a local church in the area, and we're excited and extremely on the go. So it's definitely a lot of fun.
Your daughters are in school?
One in kindergarten and one will be starting preschool.
Come on, preschool.
So it's a lot going on, a lot of new things every day.
Great. And you were saying that you were in Rotary at one point in time, so we kind of have that shared passion for community service.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, great.
Rotary's done so many good things across our county and far beyond. So
right,
it's
internationally.
it's
great.
Awesome.
All right, let's give Scott a chance to chime in here. So, Scott, what's your story?
It's actually pretty similar to Jason's. Born and raised in Fredonia, and I've got a beautiful wife. We'll be married 5 years next month.
That's always good to say on the air.
Yes, I love you, sweetie. There's that. And then I've got 2 boys at home, 3, and one will be a year old in June this month.
Oh, wow.
Well, next month.
So you got your hands full, too?
Yes, sir. Well, my wife does. I help, but I'm actually on staff at the church that Jason and I go to in Fredonia, Family Church, and between that and working at the Star, we stay busy, but it's fun. Enjoy it.
Great. Well, you guys have a rich history between the two of you. Growing up together, and were you in school together?
We went to high school together. We were in musicals and chorus and things like that.
Oh, nice.
And go back.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, this should be a lot of fun interviewing you and so on. So, my notes had said that you were from the Chautauqua Star, but that's really not true. You're from a larger organization and so forth called Star Media Group. So how about one of you describe what is Star Media Group and what is involved? Just kind of give the folks a little bit of an outline on what's involved, okay?
Sure.
So, I don't care. Who starts?
Well,
there we go.
Star Media Group is basically a company that provides multiple forms of media across Chautauqua County and beyond, a little bit into Erie County and then into Warren, PA. But we basically have our weekly local magazine, which is the Chautauqua Star, which many of you know and love across the county. We also have our countywide telephone directory, which is the Chautauqua County Community Directory provided by DFT Communications. And then we operate online as starnewsdaily.com, where people can go and access the news and information that you can find in the Star, but also being online, we can go a little bit farther with national feeds and entertainment things and really information across a gambit of areas and ideas. So really just trying to provide media to the area and highlight the positive things that are going on in our county.
So it's a short newspaper then?
No, I think there are things in the area.
I'm not serious, but you know, we seem to have so much yellow press and so much. You get on the television, all you hear about is who shot who, what school got attacked.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear the positive. So great. If I may, it seems to me I never heard of the Chautauqua Star until a few years ago. Maybe it's always been there. I don't know. How old is the newspaper and the whole thing?
We started printing in 2008. We celebrated
Okay.
our 5th anniversary of printing last September.
Okay, so
And you know, since then, when we started off, the Chautauqua Star was really just a few pages of free classified ads, is how it started. And from there, it progressed into a newspaper, and from there, it progressed. Just this year, we changed our format from a newspaper into more of a magazine type of thing. But really, the overarching goal the whole time has been to provide positive community news. You know, like you said, there's so many negative things going on, and our heart behind the paper is really just to bring out the positives, because there is so much in Chautauqua County that this area has to offer. And one of the first times I wrote for the paper, I remember my article was about in high school, you know, so many people are like, I can't wait to get out of here.
Oh, I hate that.
There's
Yes.
nothing going on here, and working for the Star has really opened up my eyes. I knew before that I liked this area, but working for the Star has really shown me there's so much that Chautauqua County has to offer, and we just got to get out and actually see what it is.
in my role as an educator, so many times I would hear parents say to their kids, get an education and then leave. Just get out of here. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
From what I keep hearing is there are more jobs than we have people in Chautauqua County. And I'm going like, how can that possibly be? All I ever hear is that, you know, everybody's laying off and so forth, but if you have the right education and so forth, and you stick around, you stay with it, you know, you can get a good job around here. But, and you're right, you know, we always hear the, you know, the highest tax, the crime rate, this and that, but that's just a small portion of it.
Sure.
It's what gets the headlines. So I'm so glad to hear that. You know, one of the things we say around here at the station is Chautauqua County has a trouble communicating with itself.
Yeah.
You know, Buffalo, Erie, they have, what, 3 television stations, they got multiple radio stations, and so forth. So it seems like you're filling kind of a void there a little bit. But how do you compete with the Observer and the Journal? I mean, how does that work?
I guess, you know, from the start, our goal has been to provide the positive news, but also to unite the county.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with, like Jason had talked about with our phone book, bringing the North and the South County together and crossing the Mason-Dixon line of Chautauqua County.
Where is that line?
Somewhere, I've learned it's somewhere between Mayville and Gary. If you draw a straight line there, I think that crosses it. But, you know, just kind of uniting those areas.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I think, you know, we've done pretty well. We've brought people from Jamestown to the Fredonia-Dunkirk area that maybe didn't know the Opera House was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've talked to people who, as crazy as this sounds, didn't know that, you know, western Chautauqua County had grapes, because you don't really see them in Jamestown area because, you know, the climate and things. But
This is a true story. When I first came to the county back in the early 70s, I lived over in the Lakewood and Frewsburg area, and then I met my future wife, and she was from Ripley. And it was like, is that in New York State? I honestly didn't know that Ripley was in New York State.
Yeah.
I live there now, obviously, for almost 30-some years now, 33 years. And it's an awesome thing. And I write a column for the Silver magazine called From Out of the West. That's my column for the last 7 years. And it's all about West County. Hey, we got a phone call. You want to take a phone call? This is awful early.
yeah.
Good morning,
Wow.
caller.
Good morning.
How are
Yes.
you? Okay, do you have a question for our guest, or?
Well, I just want to say I don't have a question in a sense, but I'm just nice to happy to see them on, since they're from Leona. That's where I am from.
Oh.
And they do a nice job. Chautauqua Star is very, very informational. It's nice to have, and especially when it doesn't cost us a thing either.
Well, thank you.
yeah, thanks.
Yes. One thing, too, I'm sorry to hear about Reed.
Yeah,
and
so are we.
Doc, can you tell us, or who can tell us there, how do we see this program? Again, my wife is not here. She'd love to see it, and we have tried several times. but we just can't seem to find it on
Okay.
like 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock or wherever it's being announced that it's on.
Is this Tom? Are you Tom DeJoe?
I'm talking to whoever can tell me who.
No,
can
is
tell me.
it? Are you Tom?
I'm not hearing you very well, but that's
Okay.
all right.
All right. I will get that information to you here in a little bit. Jeff or Chris, if you're listening, try to get me the information. Either write it down on a piece of paper they're in the studio right now, and they're going to. Okay, caller. Guys in the engineering booth are going to. Don't hang up. They're going to pick your call up here in a second,
Okay.
and they'll give you that information. So,
All right.
but we very much want to be involved in the North County because, as these guys are saying, we want to unite the whole county through communication, and certainly. Okay, how's that sound for you?
It's a great program, and we enjoy it. Doc, and good to hear you. And
Are you Tom? Is this Tom?
no, this is Richard.
Oh, Richard. Okay, you sound just like somebody else I know. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Do you have any questions for our guest?
Not really. I guess just to say keep doing the good job they're doing.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll
Thanks.
keep it going. All right, Richard, you stay on the line. They're going to pick you up, and he'll help you out with that. If anyone else has any questions about how to get the show, just call in, and we'll have somebody talk to you, okay? Okay, well, thank you, caller. See, they do watch this, and
Yeah.
they keep our feet to the fire.
That's great.
But you're right. I remember coming to the county and people saying, well, we're down here in the southern part of the county, this is the way we do business. And I'm going like, Chautauqua County isn't that big. There's only like 135,000 people.
Yeah.
I came from Buffalo, where it's like 500,000 people. What are you talking
Sure.
about here?
Sure.
And so that's good to know. Who started the magazine? I mean, where did it come from? Whose brainchild was this?
Well, the Matum, it started as the Matum Company,
Okay.
and obviously the Matum family is involved with the ownership and creating basically our brands and our products. So that's basically. But we have public investors who are definitely have helped us out in getting started and getting going. So
Well, I was just wondering if there was like one person that said, I'm going to start the Chautauqua Star or something like that.
well, I mean, I
Just sort
think it
of
was a
evolved.
collaboration. There was definitely a lot of people involved in starting up, and what's really been neat is that now where we're at, as opposed to when we started, 6 years ago, is that we have a really solid group of core individuals who have been with the company for a while and are all moving together in to meet those ends of bringing the positive news and informing Chautauqua County of what's going on and again shining that light so that people are drawn to and want to come here for whether it's tourism, to live, to start a family. I
Wow,
mean, it's a great
great.
family area.
Okay.
So, but we're definitely excited in the direction we're moving in with like I said, the group that's involved. So.
Well, let me pose a question to Scott then. So Scott, if I wanted to go to Star Media Group, where would I go and what would I see?
Our offices are in Dunkirk,
Oh, okay.
right across from Shorewood Country Club.
Okay, that's on Route 5.
Yep.
Okay. Oh.
And it's just a typical office building. We have a suite in the office building there, and the Buffalo News actually does the printing of our paper for us. We've contracted with them, and they
Okay.
print. And with the agreement that we have set up with them is, it's great because any Buffalo News subscriber in Chautauqua County gets the Star with their Buffalo News every week. So there's just over 2,000 residents of the county that get it delivered right to their door, and then the rest of everyone can go out and pick it up. But people will get students maybe that want to come and see how a newspaper operates,
Right.
and they come in and we've just got computers
Uh-huh.
because we just do it all that way, and then they print it for us. But it's been great up there just getting to know the Dunker community and being a part of that as a business, but also we go way beyond the Dunker community.
Okay. All right. Well, that's one of the things that people don't realize is that what you see every day in a hard copy of a newspaper or whatever, this is all done on computers, sent to somebody, and then we'll talk about that in a second, how that does work, and then it goes to someplace and they put it on paper.
Yeah.
So now your title is editor.
Yes, sir.
So what is an editor and what do you do?
It's kind of morphed over the years. I was hired as a copy editor in 2010 in the summer, and from there I became, I went to a writer, and then I went to editor of the paper itself. And really, my responsibility is, we rely heavily on the community for the news that's in our paper. We have a few writers that are on staff with the Star, but for the majority of the content that we have, it's submitted to us from, the hundreds of community nonprofits and organizations and businesses that are in the area. And what they do is they send that in to us. I go through it, and we have classifications. It's got to be timely, and then we'll edit it for style, make sure it's appropriate for print, and then we'll place it in the paper. And I work with our great team. We have a great sales team. We have a great graphics department, and we work together to create the promotions and the things that really make the paper more than just a weekly news source. We want to be there year-round to offer all the different things. We have a summer events tab that we publish that, it's one of our biggest issues where we talk about everything going on for the whole summer. We have we have a Mother's Day issue coming up where we'll have, our readers can write in and say, hey Mom, I love you, and that kind of thing. And
sweet.
Just providing community service through the paper, really.
Now, we know that there's a lot of senior groups that watch this, and perhaps they've never submitted anything to you. How would they do that?
There's a few different ways. Readers can email us any sort of news they might have, and they can send that to, I can say this here, it's news@star-mediagroup.com. And you can find that on our website as well, which is starnewsdaily.com. They can also mail us any press releases, any content that they might want to put in. Because of the amount we get, we can't guarantee everything gets placed, but we try to do it on a timely basis, things that are going to be coming up in that following week to help promote and promote attendance and things like that. But they can send that to our offices in Dunkirk, and the address is all in the paper of where you can mail those to.
Now, sometimes folks from these different organizations don't realize a public service announcement is just that. It's free. It's an announcement. Newspapers will be happy to do that, provided they have the space and so forth. So, boil it down, get it to these folks, email it, send it in, hard copy it, whatever, and get your events, get them some attention, because you'll get better attendance, and, if it's a fundraiser, get a few more dollars. We got a phone call. You don't know these things. I have this special earpiece.
Yeah.
That I have my you got a phone call. So, good morning, caller.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
So, what's on your mind?
I would like to see Chautauqua County have a Read Powers Day.
Have a Read Powers Day?
Yes.
Okay. How would we do that?
I'm throwing the idea out. I'm willing to listen to other ideas on how we do that. Don't put me in charge.
Well, we'll provide free advertising.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And I would be willing to help.
Okay. Well, we certainly will entertain that. This has been...
I have worked, I'm retired now, but I did work for Office for the Aging in Dunkirk.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Mr. Powers has done so much for the seniors, and that they are very grateful for everything that he has done for them.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice tribute. He really has. He's really brought the issues up and brought speakers in here to address that whole topic, hasn't he?
Well, good luck filling those shoes, because they're very hard to fill.
Tell me about it. Yes. Well, thank you. I'm doing the best I can. Well, Reed and I have worked together for the last 3-4 years now. Me being sort of like the guy over on the other side of the microphone, and we've really enjoyed working together, and we've had a good collaboration of bringing issues to the forefront. So, do you have a question for our guest at all?
No, I don't have a question, but I've enjoyed the paper for many years myself.
Okay.
And I thank them for the work that they do.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
You're very
We're happy to
welcome.
provide it.
Well, that was very nice of you to call in and keep reading your thoughts. And I've written it down, the idea, and maybe we'll get some ideas together on that. Okay?
Well, I'll be calling some other people about this too. Thank you.
Watch out, Reed. They're after you. I know you're watching the show. I know he is. You just
I
can't
hope
stay
he
away.
is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Thanks for
He
calling.
could probably be a consultant for you.
I read the consultant whether I want him or not. I'm sure he'll be calling me after the show to tell me my shirt was crooked or something. No, I'm just
Way
kidding.
to go, Reed.
No, we're good friends. I'm going to see him later, our first part of the week, so we'll be touching base. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye now. So, a much beloved Reed Powers, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, gee, that's great. So let's just keep on going here. So you've got the newspaper. I live in Ripley. I don't know if I've ever seen it in Ripley. So how do I get it if I want it?
Well, you can subscribe to the Buffalo News for the weekend edition. It gets delivered to Buffalo News subscribers across the county every week, right alongside their news in their box.
Right
so
okay.
You could do it that way, or we have close to 300 locations throughout the county where people are able to pick it up for free, obviously, and enjoy it that way. Also, we have online archived editions, so you can even go back, several editions to attain news and information you're interested in.
Okay, so for my techie friends, if you just Google Chautauqua Star, would that do it? Could they get it in that way, or
they can go on our website at starnewsdaily.com. It's just Star News Daily.
Well, us guys Google. We don't memorize the address.
Sure. Yeah, you could.
Oh, there it is.
Look at that. All right.
There's today's. There's Joe Gerasi. Yeah, senior that is.
Yep.
All
So
right.
you could see some of our main stories scrolling across. That's wanted information across the county, and then there's a couple of icons on there where you can actually link into the Chautauqua Star as well as the DFT county directory. So it's definitely accessible that way. We also, for the more advanced, we have our new mobile apps, which are available on the App Store and Google Play for all the droids out there. I'm a Mac man myself. I think I could speak for Scott in that. So obviously, again, the App Store and Google Play, but you could Google Chautauqua Star or Star, in the area, it should pop up.
I know it's hard to believe, but we have another caller.
Wow.
This is going to keep going.
Right.
Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, and I hope you all are too.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a comment as well as a question. I guess I might as well start with a question. For those of us who are physically incapable of using computers, that's a difficult spot to be in. How do we get a hold of you folks? There is a phone number that we could access. I'd like to get copies of the Star in places like the library and so forth. And they, of course, would like to contact you on that. And also at the grocery store, they're available on Thursdays, but you got to get there quick because then there's no copies left.
Wow, it's popular. All right, let's start with the phone number. What number can they call?
Sure, folks can call 716, we're in Dunkirk, but 716-366-9200, and that'll put you into our offices, and it's usually myself or someone else will pick up the phone, and we'll be able to help you out with how to get those. And you actually bring up a good point. We're undergoing now part of an initiative to bring the Chautauqua Star to increase our distribution and help get it into more places, because we hear from quite a few communities. They'll say to us, I want to get your paper, but by the time Friday afternoon when I get to the place, it's gone because so many people are going and snatching it up. So we're working on getting more out there. Just bear with us. But in the meantime, there's a lot of supermarkets, a lot of gas stations around the area, a lot of doctors' offices even that have our paper in there for you to pick up.
Thank you. And I also have a comment. I appreciate very much the way you handle the obituaries. I would imagine there's some folks who can't afford to put an obituary in the paper. You seem to cover a nice wide area, so thank you for that.
Of course.
You're welcome.
Okay, so again, 366-9200 if you want to get a hold of the guys, and maybe we can arrange for a drop-off or something like that in the future for your particular area. Caller, did that answer your questions?
Yes, it does. Thank you, and have a good day, folks.
Okay, thanks for
too.
calling. We
Thanks.
appreciate that. Wow, you guys are popular.
Look at that.
What's that? Can you have the paper delivered to your house?
We do have some folks that subscribe by mail, but just kind of due to the cost of sending the paper in the mail, typically we don't do that. Really the way that we tell folks to get the paper to their house is to subscribe to the Buffalo News, and the weekend edition, I don't think, I'm not sure of their subscription cost off the top of my head, but I don't think it's significant for
couple,
just
$3 maybe?
something like that, I think, for just the weekend edition of the Buffalo News.
That's a good thought. Okay, or you go down to your local diner or wherever you've got the, is there, probably not, but is there a listing on your website where they can get the paper?
We had printed a distribution page in the paper itself for a few times, and as we endeavor to get more places out there, we're going to be printing it in the paper again. And you know, if they want to go on the website, they could look at some backdated issues of the paper that would have that distribution page in there.
Okay, just a thought, maybe you could have a link somewhere in there where it has the whole listings. For like myself, I'm in the Ripley Westfield area. I don't know where it is, but maybe if I just click and say, oh, it's over, Tops Markets or wherever, we could find it. So, well, obviously from our callers so far and just from our discussion, a local paper like this that's featuring positive things serves a very different purpose than the other papers. The other papers, they have their purpose, and so it's good to hear that there's an alternative out there. Okay, so you said you have some writers for your paper. My good buddy Dustin Rader, who's moving up into the world. He's going up to Utica. Started with you guys, I guess, moved on to the Post-Journal, now up to Utica. So are they full-time, part-time? How does that work?
We have one other full-time person besides me there. That's Stefan Gestwicki. He's our sports editor. And he covers, I'm amazed at the amount of content that he can put out in a week. It blows my mind how many events he can cover, because he's got a wide area to cover, and plus keeping news on sports current in a weekly paper is a challenge that he's had to face, but he does a great job of it. People love our sports coverage.
So are you talking about like high school sports? Or
he'll do high school, he does college, he does professional, and then he has a commentary that he puts in, and he'll do reviews on board games, even things like that. Anything that he can cover, he'll put in there.
Recreational. Well, I got to tell you, being a former superintendent of schools, sports, we all know, is really, really foremost in many people's hearts when it comes to their teams and the alumni and so forth. And they always love to see their teams in the paper and pictures and so forth. And again, it's that fun part of our lives. We want to see our kids doing the things that maybe we did and so forth, and just seeing the good things. And if you're talking about other kinds of recreational things, people they don't realize that there's other people that might want to play chess or trivia or whatever kinds of things. So there's lots of fun things out there, and we don't have to be sitting around just watching TV all day. So, all right, so we talked a little bit about your newspaper magazine. So what do we call it, magazine or a newspaper?
It's a magazine now.
Magazine.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a newspaper and a magazine?
I would say, besides the format, this version of the Star this year, actually, we just switched to this. It's called a tab format here.
Okay.
Just for any viewers that might not know the difference, this is a tab format. If you have a paper like this, it's called broadsheet.
I did not know that.
And we used to print broadsheet.
So this is broadsheet.
That would be a broadsheet, yeah.
All right, so that's broadsheet and that's tab.
Yeah.
All right.
And really part of the reason that we switched was, we didn't want people to think that we're trying to compete with the other papers in the county, because really we're not. What we provide is, in my opinion, and across the board at our company, a completely different product. It's printed on newsprint, but that's about the only thing we have in common. We try to market ourselves differently than that, and other than providing advertising, of course, for our loyal customers and clients out there. But the main difference is probably just, besides the fact that we're a weekly, the news that we print being the positive community news and things like that.
Okay, in today's marketplace, I see very often newspapers folding, going under. They can't keep going, or they're struggling on a shoestring. What keeps your magazine going? I mean, how does it work?
I think it's a little more sustainable when you're talking about a weekly publication. I mean, obviously we only have the cost of printing one time every week. And like Scott was mentioning, having an entire week, you don't need quite as many people that are going to be, having to get the articles done on a daily basis, for example. And then with the support that we get from the community in terms of the contributions, that definitely helps us as well. But You know, we've had loyal and really great support from businesses across the community for this entire endeavor, and you know, we can't thank them enough. I don't know if any are watching or will see this, but definitely thank you for your business. We do appreciate it.
Oh, this will be broadcast over and over throughout the week. I'm sure a lot of your folks will.
Yep. So I mean, we couldn't do it without their support, honestly. And then obviously the support of the readers. I mean, the overwhelming positive support that we get from our readers is, it just makes you feel so good when you hear someone say, well, I can't wait to pick up the next edition of the Star. I get that every week, you know. So people are hungry for it. They want to know what's going on, and especially when you're talking about positive, we can brighten some people's days and, you know, put a smile on your face. So I think a combination of, you know, the work, there's been a lot of hard work put into what we've done, but also just the support in the community lifting us up and saying, hey, we want this. You know, we support this, and that's really been the biggest thing for us.
Great. Well, I got to personally thank you guys. I don't even know how long ago. It was probably about 4 years ago. I was at the county fair, and someone says, hey, you're in the newspaper. I go, what? And I walked over, and you had a stand at the county fair, you know, and you're promoting it. And there's my picture and bill for Doc and Bill. We're on, Dustin had done this big spread on it. So I'm looking at it, going like, whoa, that's really, really cool. And it was good quality, it was good print, good edit. I mean, it was really, really nice. And, you know, from our position is, you know, those are the things that promote us. Didn't cost us anything, and you're supporting local, you know, musicians and local businesses and that. So now, I know that folks are watching that maybe have a business or will say, wow, you know, I'd like to maybe advertise. Here's your chance.
All right. Well, you could definitely give us a call at our office. Again, the number is 716-366-9200. We generally put in, you know, an email that you can contact into the Star, or contact your sales rep, which will have all of the information on there. But you could also use you know, you could send to the news. That's an easy one. I know, you know, Scott would be able to direct that for you, but probably the easiest way would be to give us a call, you know, and then we'll talk about what your goals are for your business, what your budget is maybe, and really we try and work with people to, you know, find a program that's going to fit for them and that's going to achieve the end result and get more business to your corporation or to your, you know, whatever you have going on that you want publicized. You know, we've had a lot of really good feedback from the advertisers that we do work with, and like I said, a lot of long-term supporters that you know, we really can't thank enough. So we'd love to have you in there, and you know, we work with you on proofing your ad so that you can make sure that, you know, every detail is correct, because we're
imagine that
we definitely want
little
to
inside joke there, folks.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately there's always, you know,
there's always a
percent of error, but we really endeavor to get it right and to make sure that you know, that everything is on the smooth path. So,
Jason, what is your circulation? Do you have any idea?
We're right in between 8,000 and 10,000 every week.
Wow.
And it does vary. Sometimes when we do the special editions, like Scott was mentioning, we'll bump it up so that we have more editions available for people. I know, like when we do the campus consultant, for example, it's for colleges to reach out to our population, whether it's, you know, adults that are going back to school or high school students, so we'll try and get some of those out to the schools and to the areas, you know, that we believe are going to benefit those advertisers the best. So, and then that's not even counting the amount of people who go on our website and view the paper there, obviously in the archives. We have a ton of people who obviously are doing that. And then we also can provide advertising on our website, which is linkable to your website or to a social media page, and really just trying to create more bridges of connectivity with the buyer, you know, to the business owner.
Okay, so let's say somebody has a small business and they were on Facebook. Would they have a connection to advertising on Facebook, or you interface with those?
Well, basically what we can do is, from your ad, when someone clicks on it on our website, it would direct to your Facebook or to your website, whatever your preference is. I mean, you can, any URL that you can direct us to, we can have it, you know, link right over. And that's one of the amazing things about the technology and just how it's come on in the past, handful of years is that when I graduated high school in 2003, some people had cell phones, but it really wasn't a fad. And now people are doing emailing on cell phones, and everything is moving in that direction. And that's why we're excited about our online presence, about our mobile apps, and being in that arena, because that's where we can better serve our clientele and our customers, and we want to bring the most possible value to those people that we can, and by combining our multiple medias, we feel like we're encompassing, a lot of value for advertisers and marketers, and people are using our products, so that's exciting.
One of the things that we sometimes forget is when you use online advertising or any type of online product, it's around the world. You could be in another country. When I go on vacation, Barb and I go on vacation, I'm always checking in the local papers, because I have a link to the Post-Journal or the Observer. So now I'm going to get one for the Star here so I can keep up with you on there. But I mean, you can stay linked instantly. News is instant, and that's just tremendous. Now, do you update the online regularly, as opposed to the weekly? I mean, you can have that
that's
streaming.
That's updated every day.
Wow, and, that's a lot of work.
So that's exciting, and like you said, we've had views because we can get the analytics and see where people are, seeing us from, and we've had views from all 50 states. I mean, that's pretty awesome when you're a small business and you can see that you have that kind of a reach. So, I mean, people are watching, the snowbirds that are down in Florida, they're watching, see what's going on back home, and, staying informed, and, definitely we're happy to bring that to you. It's free to go on our website, so, you're not going to pay any fees, and you get the whole story, and it's going to be, just what you're looking for to stay informed.
Awesome. So. Okay, got another caller.
Awesome.
Good morning, caller. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just want to say that it's nice to have the full article. Some other newspapers in the county have decided to move away from that online. It's really nice to have the full article.
What do you mean by that?
Available.
What do you mean by that?
The Post-Journal, you can only get like the first sentence of the article on their website.
You have to pay a subscription fee.
Oh, and yours isn't that way.
No, it's free to get.
It's nice to have that.
Well, thank you for mentioning that.
So on the other ones, you got to pay to see the rest of the story then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right.
My question specifically, though, is about privacy. Advertising, obviously, more nowadays is tracking your movement. Does your advertisement do that? Do they put cookies in to see where you go next and stuff like that, or is it not like the big guys, I guess?
I don't know if maybe you could clarify a little bit for us. You mean like if you click on an ad on our website, does your browser track that you click that?
Well, there's lots of advertisements nowadays online that when you go just on the website, it'll put a thing on your computer that tracks exactly where you go and everywhere, and then sends that back to the advertising company or whatever, so they can see every website you've ever been on.
Right. No, we don't have anything like that. We take our privacy pretty seriously, of course, and the way our ads are randomly generated. So every time someone goes to our website, it randomly generates ads for our clients, and it doesn't track anything like that. We want to make sure that anything that you do on your computer is as safe as it can be, and if we can help with that, we will.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much.
And basically, what we can track is if someone clicked or how many times an ad has been viewed. And you can pick specific placement on our site, and there's pricing that goes along with everything. But there is a randomization with some of them that anytime a unique visitor comes on, or someone changes a page, or anything like that, it'll shuffle them up and have a different arrangement of them basically on each individual page.
Jason, you mentioned earlier that if someone clicks on the ad or whatever, that you can kind of track the number in that. What purpose would that serve for the client?
Well, the client basically wants to know that people are seeing it and that they're being basically accessed to what they have to offer. So whether it's a good or a service that you're trying to provide for your clientele, we can say, well, from people that are using our product, which is starnewsdaily.com, our website, this is how many of these people in a week, a month, a year, the duration of your contract, clicked through right to your ad. So this is how many people we've directed to your specific
Okay. So this is not what the caller was talking about. This is just like a clicker. This, 5 people went there today. We don't know who they were. We don't know how old they are. There's no information like that.
I think we can choose what things we see, and how do I? We can see, like what state you're from. We can see your location, things like that. That's just all things that Google generates for us. That's how we use their system.
So nothing that you're actually pulling down.
Right, and it's
with it. Okay. So, but I can imagine that would be a great interest if you had a business and you're saying, wow, advertising is paying for itself or whatever. If we could get back a little bit about public service announcements, because, like I say, I know a lot of folks watch this show, come from different organizations. And Scott, let's say that, I'm elected the public relations chairman of my XYZ club, and I'm supposed to be sending out announcements about our club and different activities. I don't know how to spell, I don't know how to write, I haven't done this for years. How do you help them?
That's really, they can just send it to us. That's my job. That's that's what our team does. There is, if things come to us and they're not, there's what's called AP style, Associated Press style, which is basically anything that goes in newsprint worldwide. Well, I think it's international. I'm not sure if it's just the States or not, but it has to be formatted. It's supposed to be formatted a certain way, and we take some leniency with that because of the nature of our paper. That we're just we're a little bit more. I don't want to say unprofessional about it, but it's just a little loose maybe. We're not as stringent about things. For instance, you're not supposed to write in the first person, but sometimes we do because we just get so passionate about the county that it just comes out, it spills out, But if you have absolutely no writing skills whatsoever, you send us your stuff and we'll turn it into something great and put it in the paper.
And how much does that cost?
There's no charge for that. Any announcements like that, any nonprofits, any I don't want to say businesses, because usually with businesses we try to work with them to help promote their business through advertising and things.
Right.
But any public service announcements, anything like that, you send it to us. That's our job. That's what we do, is promote that.
That's great. Okay. As far as having a magazine, I know, like for instance, here at the studio, there's certain things we've got to be cautious of how we promote things and say things and so forth. Are there rules and laws and regulations you have to follow? I mean, can you just do anything you want? Or?
There's we try to avoid a bias, and that's why I have a commentary. I can say whatever I want, and it's mine. Nobody can touch it,
Right.
But other than that, it's never really been an issue for our paper because the news that we get isn't really pushed one way or the other. Obviously there's things that we won't publish just because of the nature of our paper. We won't publish murder news. We typically avoid politics with every, with the 10-foot pole if we can. We'll say this person's running, and you figure out the rest. Because we don't want to divide
no
people.
recommendations.
And to that point, we don't discriminate against any politicians that would like to advertise, but
Nice.
So I put that in there
Green is
because
green, yeah.
I mean, people, we do have politicians that have advertised and utilized us as a voice of theirs, and I just want people to be aware that we don't screen those or decide, okay, well, we'll do this one but not this one.
Absolutely.
So everyone, please, we're more than happy to promote you. And
So on day one of a magazine or a newspaper, how do you have to register with the government? Do you have to register? I mean, how do you do this? How do you make it? How do you create your entity? Do you have to go through any registration or anything?
When the company started, there's numerous organizations nationwide that you can join up with. There's, the Association of Free Weekly Newspapers.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's plenty, and in the beginning we looked to them for a lot of guidance because we'd be foolish to try and start something that other people know how to do, and then we just blindly walk around pretending we know what we're doing. So we looked to them for advice, and we went through and said what works, what doesn't work, and then from there we just kind of tailored it down to what we need it to be. But I mean, really, essentially, if you have a printer, if you have a computer, you can put out a newspaper. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of being able to, trade out the cost for production and make sure, people want to read, people want to be informed. It's, this nation was founded on free press. People want to know what's going on, and we just try to help provide that if we can.
I remember when I was I think it was third grade, a couple of us, we were at our elementary school, and we started a newspaper. Well, we didn't have any of this stuff, and it was like, okay, let's get our newspaper out, and we would handwrite, like a one page, who's buddies with who and what the sports was going on that day at the school, and we actually were selling it for like 2 cents a paper or something like that. It didn't last very long, but I remember I don't know why I thought of that just then and there, but it was sort of like, I guess I've always been with the media some way or another, because I've written for the newspapers back in the 80s as a stringer and so forth, and covered stories and stuff like that. No, I don't want a job. But it's fascinating how we communicate with ourselves, and that's really interesting. Okay, so we talked about your newspaper becoming a magazine. We talked about your online, but we really didn't talk about that big book there. Well, let's talk about that thing. What is it?
Well, this is the Chautauqua County Community Directory, and really, it is a phone book, but I really don't like to refer to it as that because it's so much more. We are the only locally owned and operated telephone directory in the area. We cover all of Chautauqua County into parts of Erie County and then down into Warren.
Wait a minute, the whole area is in that book.
Yep.
And so I don't need the other 7 books that I have all over the house.
Absolutely
and I was
not.
saying, okay, Dunkirk's not in this book. That's the Jamestown book. Ripley is not in there because they're part of the, and it's like you're flipping around trying to find out where your community is.
Yep. Well, we feel like the area is, not so vast that we can't have one directory.
You noticed that, did you?
And really, one of our main goals when we started this endeavor was to, from a business owner's perspective, when you have 5 different directories that are going out to people, a lot of business owners first told me, well, I don't know which one I have to be in. I have to be in all of them because I don't know which one my next customer is going to pick up. And what we've really tried to do is eliminate that issue and that problem.
That's a great idea.
Because if you have 5 different directories, then let's say you're spending $1,000 in each one. That's $5,000 going out across the board. If you have one that encompasses the entire county and is delivered to every single home, like ours, then you can cut your advertising not only in half, but I mean you could save a lot of money in terms of what you're doing. I mean, maybe cut down to listings in the other books that only cover specific areas of the county and maintain or even do something a little bit larger with us. But
okay, let's hold that thought. We're going to try to squeeze in one more phone call, and then we got to wrap things up. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning. It's Richard again, but Jason, that book you're holding.
Yes.
One thing, I know you don't like to call it a phone book, but then you don't, because Westfield is not in that phone book. That book you're holding, the phone numbers for Westfield, you cannot find anybody from Westfield.
And actually, we have encountered some calls and some issues with that. Basically, what we have to do, because this is provided by the DFT Communications, so DFT is the phone company for Fredonia and Cassadaga, so they own those listings. We actually have to purchase listings from Fairpoint, from Windstream, from Verizon, from the Talking Football, all these different entities, and basically, if they send us information that's outdated or incorrect, a lot of times what they'll do is they send it coded, so we can't basically get in and access it. So unfortunately, there is a percentage of error associated with it, but we always try and make sure that we can cut down on that wherever possible. So we'll endeavor to fix that for the future.
Okay, Richard, we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks for your call back, and we'll get on these guys and get Westfield in there, okay?
I appreciate that.
Very well. All right, well, gentlemen, generally we try to give you some wrap-up time. We're not going to have time for that, but folks, if you do want to get a hold of these guys, 366-9200, or Google them Chautauqua Star on the internet, and you can get to their online website. Folks, thank you for joining us today. This was a great show. I really enjoyed it. And look, we're just about out of time. We want to say hi to Reed Powers. Hope you're feeling better. Give us a call. Bug us on a regular basis. I'm Doc Hamels. I want to thank Randy Burt for camera, Jeff on the engineering, Chris out back that's been holding the fort for all of us, Chuck Kelsey, who's our director here at the studio. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Get those cards over to Reed. 40 Clinton Street, Westfield, New York. We'll see you all next time. You take care and happy spring.